More Australian music because they can't stay away from me. The Australians, I guess, are falling in love with me little by little, and they are requesting Australian music, and I'm getting myself an education. I'm learning all about these bands that were never promoted in the United States because I guess we're living in some kind of bubble. Anyway, let's get to it. This is called the Divinyls, Boys in Town, and according to the requester, Boys in Town is the debut single from Australian rock band Divinyls. Oh my god, they wrote a lot. Released in 1981, this song was written in 1979 and used on the soundtrack of the 1982 film Monkey Grip, along with several other Divinyls tracks written and recorded for the film, including the side's B-side, Only You. It peaked at number 8 in Australia, full remaster with audio replaced. Chrissy Amphlett, lead singer, would have been a teenager as AC/DC, who's AC/DC, popped up in Australia in the mid-70s. I think this is why she wore a school uniform on stage. In honor of Angus Young of AC/DC, they toured the USA and have some of their song in the movies. Okay. Hold on. I want to make sure I'm getting the full remaster with audio replaced because the link you sent me in the form got corrupted. Like it didn't come out correctly. So I just hope that this is the correct 4 years ago. Hopefully that's remastered. Okay. Sorry. I'm holding this is not a rosary. These are fish bracelets for the band Fish. Okay. I was going to put them on. I like it. It's like an 80s hit. I love it. Wow. Okay, this is my take. I think that this song is so 80s in a good way. It's just as good as the American songs that are famous. And again, by American, I'm sure some of them are British or whatever. For whatever reason, we're very dominated here by just British rock and American rock. They're not really into sharing things from Australia and stuff like that. But Boys Summer. I'm on a na 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 na, a banana on a Cadillac. But I won't look back. I can never look. I can tell you. But it's something I really associate with the 80s, right? This song sounds in that same genre of like good 80s rock that could have been like a total hit and everyone would have just been like, yeah, the 80s, this is so great, whatever. It's like it has that really good 80s sound. And I go to a lot of 80s cover band stuff. And this could have been a hit in America too. It's just that I guess it's some kind of conspiracy. Like they just didn't promote Australian music in the United States. It just shows you industry was so in control. I like now that we have indie, we have the internet, we have an exchange of information, we can like find out things across the ocean. I like that. I like that a lot because before we wouldn't have known unless the record was promoted on the radio and you found the record in a store, all those things controlled by the record industry, okay? So my assessment is this could have been just as big of a hit and we could be doing it at all the 80s cover bands I attend with all the other big hits of the 80s. I got my first real 6-string, bought it at the 5 and dime, whatever, all that stuff. Summer of '69, Bryan Adams, there's a whole 80s playlist of stuff that is just always played at these 80s cover bands, and this could have been one of them. Sorry, I woke up. I always film in the morning. This is what I slept in, actually. Pajama shirt. So yeah, I love it. Is it a girl? I think she's a girl for sure. Her voice sounds high. It could be a guy. I don't want to misgender someone. I don't know. I'm assuming, but maybe it'll tell me. I think it's a girl. Okay. So she sounds like a girl. I just, nowadays you couldn't say such a thing of, can't assume a gender. Yeah, she's pretty. Okay. She's a girl. And has a very nice voice. I love female singers in rock bands because it's more rare. You usually get a male singer in a rock band. So whenever there is a female in a rock band, such as Heart or something, I always like that because it just adds a little bit of difference compared to everybody else. So this could have been a hit in America. That's my point. So my assessment is I like it. Solid music video for the time frame. This is, the beginning of that MTV, music television channel in America. And we had music videos playing, and so this is when they were starting to come of age. Here we just have like them playing in a band. It's not like that clever of a music video. It's just like some shots of them singing and them just performing. Whereas music videos became crazy with like "Take on Me" when he jumps into a cartoon and then what do they say? Video killed the radio star. Video killed the radio star. In my mind and in my car, they've come too far. Oh, oh. See, I'm an expert in 80s. Blue Monday 88. How does it feel to treat me like you do? And David Bowie, he had a bunch of hits, Anyway, so yes, I think it's great. Thank you for showing me Australian music, which was never shown to me in the United States because censorship, I guess, in its own way. So cool. Australia, you guys are talented too. We just never knew because they don't tell us these things. So I'm glad I get to discover it now. And I never seen The Monkey Grip. People were upset in one video where I said one of the only Australian movies I've seen was the one about the dingo taking the baby. And then at least an Australian defended being like, no, that's just her context for Australia because that's the only movie she's seen. People are like, I can't believe that's what you associate Australia with. I'm like, well, that's the movie I saw because that was the most famous movie about Australia that took place in Australia. And then I thought The Piano, and they're like, no, I think that was New Zealand. I was like, okay, well, it was a really scary story about some woman who had to marry some guy, and then her hand got cut off, or I don't know, she had to marry a guy she didn't love, sent it as a mail order bride. I was like, God, this Australia place sounds like it had a pretty rough beginning. Anyway, so great. I love it. I can't wait to come to Australia and meet you all. Once I become big, it's like, Erica Reacts in Australia. I'll be like, wow, it's the Sydney Opera House. And I'll just be like reacting live. I'll be like, wow, it's so great. And then I'll be like, wow, Sydney's so cool. Then I go to Melbourne. I'll be like, oh, Melbourne. I don't say Melbourne because it sounds bad. I go Melbourne. Okay. Just like they pronounce Auckland. Whereas if I look at it, it looks like Auckland, but it's Auckland. Anyway, that's in New Zealand, by the way. I haven't been there either. If I'm going to go to Australia, I'm going to go to New Zealand. I have to go to both. They're kind of near each other-ish, right? The Pacific. It's so big. I'm still afraid of that, though, because did you guys ever watch the TV show Lost? They were on the plane from Los Angeles to Sydney, and then their plane gets lost and they end up in some random island in the middle of a different universe, or they're in purgatory. No one knows. So anyway, I was always afraid of like LAX to Sydney. I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, sure. I can't wait. So send me more Australian music. I have Daryl, whatever, the horses, whatever. I had some John Farnham, Olivia Newton-John, my favorite. Let me know who else. I know you guys have Hugh Jackman. He became a Broadway star. Okay, he's also Wolverine. Okay, he's also jacked. He was jacked for the Wolverine movie. Okay, I love that movie. Okay, take care. Bye.